So I would love to know from you at home, in your opinion, what is considered a hit now? What is considered a flop? I would love to know those numbers because does it change with the budget of a film? So if you make like a Five Nights at Freddy's, for example, which I know is based on some IP, and the budget is where it is, that made like 80 million opening weekend, I believe. So obviously that's a hit. But what is it? Is it proportional to budget? So if you have a $300 million movie, the hit label has to be up? Or can we just say that there's a bar of a hit? Hey, Kinolimers, welcome to another Coffee with Kinolime. I don't know, is that going to be our name now? Coffee with Kinolime? Kinolime with coffee? I don't know. Anyway, head of development here, John Schramm.
Danny Murray, CE.
Yes. All right, I didn't have to like say, and to my right, your left.
No,
but
yeah, perfect. Yeah.
How you doing? Good.
I'm a little clammy.
I thought you're so clammy.
I know. It's hot outside.
AC's on. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that.
It's okay.
We have a cool topic today. I love getting into conspiracy theories and just kind of like riffing on stuff. So, F1 premiered this weekend to the roar. That's all I kept. By the way, all I kept reading was roaring in.
Yeah.
To a tune of 55 million domestically. And all I kept reading was, it's a hit. And it got me thinking about what is a hit nowadays, what used to be a hit. Because then I'm thinking, like The Flash, Indiana Jones, that came out within the last 2 years. The Flash, for example, made 55 million, and that was labeled a flop. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, I think, was 60 million, labeled a flop. Why is F1 labeled a hit now? And is there media bias going on with certain films? Or is it just the target is moving now on what a hit is? And that's what we're going to be talking about today.
Yeah, I mean...
But you didn't see the film yet.
I wanted to see it yesterday. I couldn't see it. I mean, I guess it is great. Like, it'll probably at least make its money back. And it's a, like, somewhat adult... racing movie,
it's a racing
like original
drama.
Temple.
Yeah, no, I mean original films should be celebrated. I'm happy.
Yeah,
it's leading the pack in the box office.
Yeah, my personal conspiracy is it seems like Apple did not have another film slated for the rest of the year or 2026, I think, and there was some rumblings that if this bombs the way that Napoleon or Killers did, maybe they just focus on television and stop producing films. I think part of the trades going so gung-ho on this is that they really want Apple to invest in film.
Sure.
And they want them to buy one of the now like junk stock studios so that
Man, you're really going deep on the conspiracy here. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I think they want to happen.
Could be. But I mean, does that influence media bias? That's really interesting to me. That's a cool theory. I'm gonna think about that. And we're gonna see one day Apple buying Warner Brothers, and you're gonna be like, heard it here first.
What do you think?
I don't know. I think my gut is telling me it's just a moving target, right? Yep. That, look, when I was growing up in the days of like early Marvel or, original, like 100 million was kind of like, that was kind of the thing. It was like, if you made over 100 million opening weekend, that was a hit. Or, 50 didn't seem that high back then on certain things. So to hear in 2025 with the inflation and the dollar, et cetera, and all the screens, 55 million, really, that's domestically a hit. And like, I get it. Like F1 is huge overseas. This will probably make tons of money internationally, but I'm really interested more or less in the domestic, because that's like where we as, US citizens are watching film. I want to see people going and supporting theaters. But when you see something like 55 million being labeled as a hit, I scratch my head thinking, wow, like, this has really changed. And like, what does it mean for cinema in recoupment, future projects? Because the P&A on this was probably huge. I hear numbers of like, this costs $300 million, which I don't know. I mean, tax incentives, we can chop that down, but 55 million just seems like not a lot for a Brad Pitt, Apple produced, hugely advertised and marketed film. I don't know.
I almost wonder if even if this film, ends at say like 400 worldwide or like 500, right? And it maybe doesn't even hit its break-even point. A part of me also like thinks we're like the only surefire bet in media moving forward is going to be like live sports, probably. I wonder if like Surefire,
I
like
get
that's
it, I
where
get
all
it.
the
Yes, for
media
sure.
rights
For sure.
lie.
Yeah.
Like, the most powerful person in media is Roger Goodell, right? I do wonder if that's part of it, is like they're trying to seep their way into live sports through this.
Sure, and that may be on their master plan list, but more of like I'm more interested personally in the media.
Yeah.
I mean, we just went over this before we got on camera.
Yeah.
Hit, roar, hit, roar. That's all we read.
Yeah.
Whereas like The Flash, 55 million, flop. Indiana Jones, 60 million, flop. Lightyear, 50 million, flop. Black Adam, 67, flop. Eternals, 71 million, flop. Why are those getting flopped labels and this a hit? I mean, is it the foreign? Is it the potential? I just find that really interesting. And I know the per screen average, to be fair to F1, is higher than these.
Yeah.
But not by much. 2,000 more per screen, which does add up. But then Wicked, for example, which was a huge hit, was like 29,000 per average screen, where this was 15. I guess we're so quick to label an original film a hit. Oh, they try to push Black Bag, right? Which, sorry, Soderbergh, love your work, wasn't a good film. It wasn't. It was very meh. And they were like, why is no one going to see Black Bag? This movie's awesome. Like, yeah, it had some cool scenes and like it looked great and the music, but it was so empty and vacant. I would have walked out. But why does this get the pass and not other films? And I just find it just an interesting conversation.
I do wonder if, because sometimes what marks a hit is like it's not something that you could even quantify, but then in like the first week, and you could like feel the legs. Like I think Sinners, for example, I think its domestic first week was like under 50, but of course it's
I feel like it was higher. I feel like 60s is in my head for some reason, but I'm always wrong.
But like obviously its budget was like a third of F1, but immediately after it came out, there was like some blend of, it kind of roared past expectations, and it everyone was talking about it, and you just knew it would have legs, which it did. Same thing with Wicked, where, I mean, I'm not sure if it's just a New York thing, but when that came out, that's all anyone was talking about for like, weeks. My girlfriend saw it like 9 times in theaters or something crazy. I'm not sure if this will have those kind of legs, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah, so Sinners was 45 and a half.
Sure.
So 10, again, but not a huge star, like a Brad Pitt, not the marketing push. I mean, Michael B. Jordan, to be fair,
he's not on
Brad Pitt level. A lot of his starring vehicles outside of Creed or Black Panther, for example, like didn't do very well. Like to me, I love him. I think he's a fantastic actor. The jury's still out whether he can hold a film like a Brad Pitt can and has through his career. So it's just really, really interesting to me that this is labeled a hit and other films get a pass, but I think more to the point is we are in a post-COVID world and the box office numbers are not what they were pre-COVID. They're not going to maybe ever get there unless movies become better. I haven't seen F1's. I'm assuming it's going to be like okay, but I don't hear the buzz like you said with Wicked or Sinners. I don't hear it.
Yep.
All my friends that saw it are like, it was fine. There's some cool sequences, but no one's like, wow, that blew me away.
Yeah.
Whereas like some of the movies that are comparable maybe in budget, like a lesser degree, some of the earlier Mission Impossibles, people would leave saying, oh my God, did you see that stunt that Tom Cruise did? Blah, 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 blah. We don't hear that with this. I kind of hear like, all right.
It does feel like, my guess is that it's being labeled a hit because the positive general first week outlook, the fact it wasn't a flop, is going to permit them to make more films. So I think that's what it is. It's a different business model than a standard distributor, right? The streamers operate with different rules because they have unlimited money.
So I would love to know from you at home, in your opinion, what is considered a hit now? What is considered a flop? I would love to know those numbers because does it change with the budget of a film? So if you make like a Five Nights at Freddy's, for example, which I know is based on some IP, and the budget is where it is, that made like 80 million opening weekend, I believe. So obviously that's a hit. But what is it? Is it proportional to budget? So if you have a $300 million movie, the hit label has to be up, or can we just say that there's a bar of a hit? I don't know. It's interesting. I mean, I'm assuming it has to correlate with budget.
Yeah, I mean, it's supposed to be what, like 2.5 times, right?
Because
But that doesn't really.
I don't know. Like Friendship, the film,
Robbins
the Tim
and-
Robbins
yeah.
and Paul Rudd film, which I saw and like
Mm-hmm.
was fun. Didn't love it, but I thought it was fun, and it was, dude, had some hilarious moments.
Yeah.
That was labeled a pseudo hit because of the fact that the budget was lower, and
Mm-hmm.
it did quite well on the slow release rollout of the film. I think it was like only playing in 4 cities, and it was doing super business on the per screen averages. But yeah, I don't know. It's just interesting. I mean, I'm happy F1 is a hit, I guess. I don't know. I still feel like the story's probably a 6 or 7 out of 10, and I feel like we could do better in that department, but we'll take the wins where we can in this market. But now, like with next year's film, The Odyssey, Nolan's film, like, you know it's going to be way above 55
Yeah, it'll
million.
make like.
So then,
$1
what is that?
billion
Super hit? What do we label something that does over 100 now? There's got to be another threshold. If we're going to keep using the word hit gratuitously, I think we need to change the tiers, like smashing success. Like something has to change. We can't label hit from like 20 million to 150 million opening weekend. We can't. I think we should have tiers. I'm all about tiers.
Or I think it also just depends on like budget and like the surprise of it. Like again, Sinners was like I think people were talking about it leading up to it, but by all accounts, in like the Warner rollout of auteur films they had, I feel like people were talking about that one probably the least, and
Yeah.
it unquestionably did the best.
Yeah.
It had the biggest cultural imprint.
So everyone at home would love to hear from you. What is a hit? Should the bar be moved? Should we have different tiers? What's a flop? Hit us up. Would love to know what y'all think of what a hit is and, where we go from here as a box office metric.
Yeah.
And for those who want to create the next hit at Kinolime, we have our script to screen competition coming to a close next Friday.
Crazy.
Amazing.
One
Cannot
more week to
wait.
vote.
Cannot wait to get into another film. So please go to kinolime.com, read and rate all 3 screenplays. Tell us what you think. Vote your favorite. And then we're going to make it a hit, a smashing success. I don't know. We're going to
We're gonna
crush.
roaring.
We're going
in
to crush.
its
Are you
domestic
roaring?
first
It's going
week.
to roar into theaters
It's gonna be great.
and be a hit. But kudos to Brad Pitt and the team for F1. Congratulations.
Yeah.
And I'm not being sarcastic. I really mean that. Congratulations. But go to kinolime.com, read, rate, and vote. What's your name?
Oh my God. I am Danny.
John, thank you so much, and we'll see you soon.